A beautiful shot of Oakland, California, but the sun is shining down on the vibrant city. The energy is evident, and the excitement is building for an early season clash in the League for Clubs NorCal Conference tonight. We witnessed two determined foes, each with aspirations of shuttling up those standings. A pleasant evening to all. My name is John Natali, and I'm thrilled to bring you live coverage of this bracing matchup on the National Soccer Network. Oakland SC, hosts of tonight's showdown and fourth in the NorCal Conference, have demonstrated their prowess early in the spring 2025 campaign with a record of 3-1-1 and 2-1-0 performance at home, riding a three-match win streak. They've leveraged their home field advantage at Oakland Tech Bulldog Stadium, who play their high school soccer in the California Oakland section, Blue Soccer Division. And on the other side of the pitch, Rush Silicon Valley has faced a series of challenges this season. Starting off with a 1-0-4 record, they've struggled to find their rhythm and have lost their last two matches. Currently positioned ninth in the 13-team NorCal Conference, Rush Silicon Valley is determined to turn their fortunes around tonight. Will Oakland SC maintain their dominance, or will Rush Silicon Valley rise to the occasion and deliver a stunning upset? Stay tuned for this League for Clubs matchup, brought to you exclusively on the National Soccer Network. We'll get starting lineups in just a little bit once they hit the pitch, and we'll also get to our standings in the NorCal division. Want to thank Mia for being back at the studio, for taking care of everything tonight. And we'll get going here just about a few minutes. Kickoff scheduled for 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 10 o'clock for us on the East Coast. And if we can have a look at those standings as we take our time and wait for the referees to get the match ball. Get those up for you shortly. While we have a second, the League for Clubs is proud to partner with Select as our exclusive match ball provider. Learn more about Select by visiting them online at select-sport.com. Select does soccer balls for a lot of leagues. One of the most prominent USL Championship is their main supplier, but they do soccer balls for a lot of the amateur and semi-pro clubs around the nation. It's a great product. They do great community service work. And as you can see there, both clubs coming out with some respective youth holding the American flag. It is Oakland to the left, our left, and Rush to the right in the black kits, and Oakland in those turquoise kits with the black shorts. Our goalie's clad in the neon yellow on the left, and that is Oakland keeper Colin Nestor. And then for Rush on the right, number 1, Alejandro Rafael Cervantes will be in the cage for Rush this evening. Lots of stories to tell throughout this one for both of these clubs. Rush really actually goes by Silicon Valley Rush, but Rush is a very prominent club out of San Jose, but they have academies throughout the U.S., ranging anywhere from Detroit to Minnesota to Boston, just all over the country. And they have some alumni, and you might be familiar with this one, actually coming from our home base in Michigan for Rush, Michigan. One Christian Prulisic played his youth soccer for that club many, many years ago. One of the most prominent U.S. men's national team players of all time to ever put on the red, white, and blue and the stripes of the American flag there. So that coming up next year in 2026 when the World Cup is hosted by the United States of America. I know everybody's getting very, very excited for that. And there still is a bid for the women to get a shot at the World Cup a few years after to host it here as well. So that would be something else for the nation as the sport continues to grow exponentially on both the men's and women's side, especially the women's side. Both of these teams with WPSL teams, and that's really how the League for Clubs got started. The League for Clubs itself is a men's amateur soccer league. This is its inaugural season, and it's a partnership between the WPSL and existing men's clubs, and it was built just like every other academy, any other league was built. It was built to build teams, community, and the game itself. Benefit member clubs by limiting the geographical size of a lot of these teams. There are many leagues out there where the regions are so spread out, and it's hard to get talent to certain areas because people are leaving, people are going there. It's hard to get certain places, but they really limited that. But you got to give a lot of credit to Peter Wilt. If you're not familiar with who Peter Wilt is, he is the GM of the Chicago Fire, the Major League Soccer, but he's also the founding member of 4 professional soccer teams in the U.S., including Tulsa Athletic, and who were the 2023 MPSL champions, unfortunately suspended by the same league for last year. But it's led by 5 lead clubs: Tulsa Athletic, Kingston Stockade FC, Atlantic City FC, Napa Valley 1839 FC, and FC Davis. These clubs were former members of the NPSL. And there's a whole thing back there, a story that, management and stuff with the NPSL versus everybody else, that the prices were getting too high and all of that. So they decided, and they were losing top teams, and most of those teams were going to the USL League 2. Financially, a very, very unique model in the U.S. soccer landscape. Teams will hold a stake in a success of the league through revenue sharing and credits. If there is a sale of a member, the remaining teams will receive 51% of the net proceeds in order to preserve the strength of the league and to give benefit to all clubs growing in the game. Now, it sounds a little wordy, but when you put it all in the perspective, when we're looking at Pro Rel now and the upper ranks and all of that, it really benefits the amateur level and semi-pro soccer. So that's a great thing. The League for Clubs, with the amount of teams they have, which is 50 and continuing to grow. I mean, think about that. They put together 50 clubs in the course of a year, and that's only going to continue to grow. And the skill levels of a lot of these players is exceptional. And you're going to see it tonight here on the National Soccer Network. So the anthem was played. We'll have a 3-referee crew tonight. And we're just going to get underway here shortly. The sun is out. I know it looks a little overcast, but the sun is out. Partly cloudy, but the weather is ideal for a late April game in Northern California. Well, Oakland's, well, yeah, it is, because it's right on the bay across from San Francisco's. Oakland, California is such a big state, sometimes I get confused, but it is up there. So Oakland to your left, Rush on the right. See our closest to our screen, number 11, Christopher Ortiz for Rush, and wearing number 7. Got to watch out for him, Alexander Bernier. 9 goals, as you can see in front of us in the, I guess, neon green shoes. But number 7, with his 9 goals, not only leads the team, but leads the conference overall. And last game against CF San Rafael in a 6-2 win for Oakland, had a hat trick. But don't be fooled, because there is one on the other side, number 10, Mahmoud Musa, who has 6 goals, and he's tied for 3rd in the conference. He also had a brace. And then rounding out the scoring in that 6-2 victory was Montreux Mater. Had a goal and assist, and he actually got the first goal of the game in the 28th minute in that 6-2 win. So we are underway, and there is Bernier. Stolen away, now possession. And we're the other way on the counter. Ball a little heavy, and out comes Nestor to gobble it up. And he'll set himself. Good sportsmanship there between Oscar Cervantes, number 27, and 11, Christopher Ortiz. And they'll play it to the far side. And Oakland will try to send it up. Cervantes there. Ball goes out of bounds on a quick throw. And here's Bernier with an early chance into the middle, but deflected into the hands of Cervantes, Alejandro Rafael Cervantes. Now this ball played back. And we'll have a stoppage as we wait for the throw in from the far side. As we see numbers, I'll give them to you as I see them. Didn't get starting lineups quite early enough, so when we see a player, I'll be sure to mention them. And that's going to go the other way in favor of Oakland. Just underway here. And this is going to be played all the way back. And ahead looking far side. And that ball was too heavy, goes out of bounds. And Jesse Cruz with the throw in, number 14. All the way back to Cervantes. He'll play it at his feet, look for help, and he'll boot it away with the left. To midfield. Now to the far side. That ball sent ahead, but it was out of bounds. Too late. An Oakland throw in just past the midline. See number 8 in the center of your screen. That's Javon Cunningham. Has 1 goal on the season. Player down already. Play continues. And now a strip away. Ball played to the outside. Early chance for Oakland. Can he get inside the 18? Takes a shot with the right, but sends it left. Didn't get all of it on it. Early opportunity for SC. Just miscued off his boot. Cervantes will set it up for the goal kick. We just enter the 4th minute. A play real early here in a 0-0 tie. And Cervantes just plays it a little bit to the left. And that ball sent forward. Headed by Cervantes. And on the throw-in, quick throw-in from Cunningham, there's Bernier. And a lot of black jerseys swamped him real quick. The black jerseys with the blue front stripes. Beautiful kits from both of these clubs. But here's an opportunity. Numbers trying to look for help now to the outside. Here's Cunningham. Tries to get there with speed. Just put the ball a little bit too heavy. And back to Cervantes. He'll scour the field. Now sends it in. Didn't get enough on that. That's Blanquel Ernesto, number 6. Number 5, Brian Gomez on the back line. Nestor plays it to the far wing. Now into the middle. Splits the defender and now plays it ahead. But that ball heavy. And Cervantes there to gobble it up. Bernier's going to be active, number 7. Right in front of us here. On the far side, Mahmoud Musa with the 6 goals. Chasing that down was number 4, Justin Wolf. And lets it go out of bounds, and it'll be an Oakland throw-in. Number 24 in the middle of your screen for Rush, Mohamed Amran Walazada. Gives chase and out to the outside. Cervantes settles. Ortiz able to strip it away. And he'll play it back. That's a Jamal Adam, number 3. Plays to the far side. That ball to nobody. It's going to go out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in. Derek Akrafi will throw it in, number 3. This ball played ahead. Bernier was there. And now a little scrum. That's Cunningham trying to chase it down. It'll be back play to Cervantes. Plays it at his feet using the left. Sends it ahead. Cervantes. Stripped away. Still endangered. Donald Rappo, number 10. Ball on the ground. Trickles out of bounds. And it's going to be rush ball. Number 12, Alexander Terrazas. Number 12. That's Montreux Mater, number 9. Number 11, Jared Barreto for Oakland. Here's Terrazas looking for help. Poked away. Goes out of bounds. Terrazas will throw it in from about the 35-yard line. Short throw, back to his feet. It's 24, Walizada. Trying to split the defense. Good help recovery from Oakland. Back to the feet of Nestor. And he'll send it away with his left foot. So we got two southpaws on the pitch. Inside the 18 for each club. Just a one scoring opportunity for Oakland so far, but not a good strike. And sent it left of the net. Good ball to the outside. Here's Cervantes. He'll send it in, but it was blocked. And we're going to have a corner. So our first set piece of the match goes in favor of Oakland. As they start to crowd the box. That's Cunningham. See the size difference. Cervantes with a big advantage. See if he can try to snag this one out of the air. Comes far post. Head on it. But right in the hands of Cervantes. Read it perfectly. Another opportunity for Oakland. But Cervantes was there to stop it. Here's Adam. He'll play it to Terrazas. But Bernier on the good recovery. And now the other way. But stripped away. Good defense from Rush. Now Ortiz trying to find help. Playing two-man with Walizada. He'll play it back. And now forward. Cunningham able to intercept it. And Bernier was taken off. That was a lucky kick from Jamal Adam to keep Bernier from running with that one. You could see the speed and momentum starting to pick up. Blanquel, he'll play it far side. Try to get it to Musa, couldn't do it. And now the other way. That's number 15, Emiliano Ziliano. Now Terrazas. Tried to send it into traffic. It got deflected and played back. And Oakland trying to clear. They'll get it back to Nestor. Player down for Oakland. That was Blanquel. Pops back up. Ball is set, and we'll get this underway. 10th minute. 0-0. 2 shots for Oakland, none yet for Rush. All the way back to Nestor. A little pressure, but he'll play it outside to Gomez. He'll look for help and play it forward. Ball off the chest of Rappo. Popped in the air, settled. But to the feet. Here's Ortiz. Looking for help. And now into the middle. But just too heavy, but back to Rush, and that's going to roll out of bounds, and it will go in favor of Rush. On the far side, that's Jesse Cruz, number 14. Zolano plays it ahead, now to the outside. Here's Zolano. He'll turn, and he'll come towards us. Terrazas tried to send it in. It was blocked. Terrazas there again, still inside the 18, working hard, but 2 defenders. And it was It's going to be a throw for Rush. Into the middle, trying to turn. And a clear from Jared Barreto, number 11. Here's Ortiz trying to turn, a block, stays with it. Ball stays in. Terrazas now up ahead, and Nestor will calmly let it go over the end line for a goal kick. 12th minute. Oakland SC celebrated their 50th anniversary last year, began in 1974. Many people around that area who are familiar with the game of soccer might be familiar with the Jade Soccer Store. The owners of that store were the ones who started it. And what's great about Oakland is not only are they allowing players to live out their dream and get solid competition on the pitch, but it's also for underfunded. It's that they do get a lot of donations. A lot of these families in that area have difficult lifestyles and don't always get the neat means to play club sports like this, but Oakland has provided that throughout their tenure, and it's a beautiful story. You should check out their website. Just search Oakland SC on your Google bar and read the About Us, and you'll see everything. It's a truly remarkable story on what they've done, what they've accomplished, and the fact that they've been doing this for 50 years now is just testament to itself. As we battle on top of the 18, Oakland trying to clear, and they do. So now we're counted the other way. Cunningham back. Now they'll play it to the outside, up to Cervantes. A little pressure. Bernier looking for a run now. He's got speed. On the near side, number 7 has to come out. And good play as there was collision between Cervantes and Bernier. Bernier took the brunt of that one as Cervantes, a much, much bigger player. And the impact on that. And everybody with a collective gasp in Oakland as they wait for Bernier to get up. And a yellow card issued to Bernier on that, I believe. So it will. On a weird series of events, I'm not sure how Bernier would get a card on that. I can understand it, but just by the looks of that play. So give a card to Alexander Bernier. Our first yellow of the match. And in the 14th minute. You saw there the backside, number 4, Joaquin Nwanka. Whoa. One thing that Rush has struggled with only the one win this season, and that was early on, is in the 4 matches that they've had, they only have 4 goals and have given up 10. So it's a -6 goal differential. Now an opportunity, and Cervantes has to come out again. And one thing that these players have to be careful of is that track on the far side. When those cleats hit that, it is a very, very slippery slope. And you have to be very, very careful on your momentum flying into that track. Now into the middle. Oakland trying to generate. Another strip away from Rush, who's done a good job so far on the counter. That's Zolano. Plays it into the middle, back to him. Walizana and Zolano playing 1-2 soccer, looking for help, and was running more east and west than north and south. That ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay with Rush. But Walizada had nowhere to go. On the free kick. Another lefty from Rush, head off the head of Oakland. The other way, that's Musa. Ball cleared and now back forward. This ball ahead. And then cleared the other way. Nestor will let it settle in his box. He'll play it to his feet. No real pressure. Now he'll pick it up. See what he decides to do with the 17th minute. Puts it down, and he'll send it away. Cross midfield to about the 30, headed out. Good footwork from Zolano. Maintains it into the center, but deflected away. Now forward, Bernier was trying to get there, could not. He seems to be okay, but did pick up the yellow in that collision with Cervantes in the 14th minute. Body's on the ground, ball pops up, and now to the outside. Terrazas. Here's Ortiz looking for help. He'll play it back. And now Adam, way out of his position. Plays it to Ortiz, looking for help in the middle. Good close defense, but now breakaway. That's number 18. That's Moran. Anthony Moran leads this team, and with only 4 goals on the season, he has 3 of them. So number 18 needs to get involved. If they're going to score, they need to find the feed number 18, and that was the first time we've called his name this match, and we just entered the 19th minute. On the other hand, when you talk about the scoring of Oakland, even though they sit 4th in the conference, they lead the NorCal Conference in goals scored with 19. Have only given up 7 with that 12 differential. But that one loss did hurt them. That was the first of the season, their first game. An opportunity in the 18. A shot and just goes left of the net. So a little miscommunication from the Oakland defense. And it was almost an open beauty. Or did that go in the back of the net? So I'm confused now because it looked to me, unless the net wasn't down on the back, but they're starting play up front, so that had to have been a goal. I don't know if we can get that on replay or not, but that ball went left. It looked like it caught the back corner of the net, but then you saw it roll onto the track, and it must have popped up in the back of the net. So give a goal to number 6, Hector Elias Mejia Velazquez, in the 20th minute to give Rush the 1-0 advantage. Opening goal for Rush. We're going to have to take a look at that once we get a free break. But that was about as confusing to me as anybody else who was watching this broadcast, because that ball just kept going. It didn't stop and must have went under the net. But if it hits it when it's in between those 2 posts and underneath the crossbar, it does count as a goal. So 1-0 Rush. What can Oakland do to counter? Can they find an equalizer here as we enter the 21st minute? Into the box. Deflected away. And we're going to have a corner. So it'll be the second corner for Oakland, this one from the opposite side. Again, the height advantage of Cervantes in that goal. We'll see where they place this one. Will they keep it down and low? Here it comes. Off the right boot. It is low, but deflected out. And a throw in. And that's to Bernier, who had the hat trick and an assist in the last match. That ball heavy. And we apologize for the tent there. Some rain now falling in Oakland as the clouds came. And you see the umbrellas out. Another throw in from the far side. Into the box, popped up. Cervantes able to grab it. And that's going to be a foul on Oakland. Had a little body-to-body contact. Looked like Draymond Green going up for that rebound. Warriors having their series in the playoffs right now. Speaking of NBA playoffs, the Oklahoma City Thunder completed the sweep of the Memphis Grizzlies today. Denver Nuggets up 2-1. Or tied 2-2 with the Clippers. Just down the road in LA. On a 0.1 second throwdown putback by Aaron Gordon. Off a heave by Nikola Jokic. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they were on the court. I know Miami was there too, but boy, they put a hurting on the Miami Heat for a 37-point victory. They extend their series lead 3-0 in the Eastern Conference. Last night, Minnesota took a lead on the Lakers, 2-1. Boston took a loss yesterday to the Magic. The Knicks are up 2-1 on the Pistons. Pacers up 2-1 on the Bucks. And as I mentioned, Golden State, they are currently down 3 to the Houston Rockets. With that series tied 1-1, it's in the third quarter with 2:08 left, down by 3, 69-66 with 2:08 remaining in the third. Also, NHL playoffs are underway, so lots going on. USL Championship is underway. About 4 or 5 games, respectively, for each club. The U.S. Open Cup has started. Now entered the stage of 32 in that tournament. One of the most prestigious tournaments in American soccer, consisting of a lot of different leagues. And the round of 32 is when the MLS teams start to show up, and a lot of them are in play for their next open match. Where I'm from, the Indy 11 will be playing Philadelphia in Philadelphia at the Subaru Center. They had a win over their actually division rival, Miami FC, in their first Open Cup match for the season, and won that one in an amazing goal. You don't see it often. Tied 0-0 throughout the entire regular session, full 90 minutes. And then they went to the 2 overtimes. And an opportunity here. Here's a far side. It's Ortiz. Takes it with the left, but great save from Nestor to knock it off the post. It'll go out of bounds. Ortiz put a good charge on that, but diving to his right was Nestor. And with some thanks to the post, keep that out of the net. and reserve it from going 2-0, possibly in the 26th minute. Before that fantastic soccer play happened, as I was mentioning, went 0-0 through 123 minutes after 2 overtimes and 3 minutes of added time in the second overtime. It was a goal by Hayden White in the 123rd minute to give the Indy 11 the 1-0 win over Miami FC. As soon as they touched it to restart, the whistle blew, and that was it. And amazingly, Hayden had just celebrated his birthday the night before, so happy birthday to me. That would allow Indy 11 to advance to the next round of the U.S. Open Cup and then face Philadelphia, the MLS squad, on their home turf at Subaru Center in Philly. Here's the ball in with the left. Cleared away and packed over the end line, chased down, and that's going to be a throw-in on the far side. Number 23, Khalid Aramdani. He has the 4th goal of the season for Rush, and that came in last week's loss at home to Iron Rose, and it came in the 85th minute to avoid the shutout. So only 2 players have scored, but now make it 3, as it was Velazquez in the 20th minute. As we mentioned, once we get to halftime, I'm going to go back and make sure to see if unless I was hallucinating, make sure I saw what I saw and see that ball roll in and out of the net, which is very strange, but nonetheless puts Rush up 1-0 as we enter, getting closer to the 30th minute. 1 more to play till we get there. Oakland's been somewhat limited for as much of a prominent offensive attack that they have. Bernier has been up there. Haven't seen Musa. There's number 10. Haven't called his name much as far as the attack. Montreux Mater, number 9. You can see up top in your screen there, playing that striker position. Maybe the switch of Musa on this side and Bernier on the far side now, maybe that'll get things going for Oakland. Maybe that something Coach Watson maybe saw, Coach Ashley Watson saw, and maybe a mismatch, and maybe they can get that going on the offensive side. That was Barreto, lost it. Now played back. There's Gomez. He'll play it back to Nestor. Play it forward his right foot. But on the counter, it's going to be a quick offside. I'm going to switch fields. On the far wing. Now in the 30th minute. It's been good collapsing defense from Rush so far that has stalled any offensive threats from Oakland, but just haven't been able to generate anything of more than a few touches. This ball ahead, that's Bernier on the far side. Can he track it down? No, he cannot. And it'll be a throw-in. '31st minute. Rush with the 1-0 advantage on a great shot. It was placed perfectly. I think there was confusion from everybody because they did see the ball roll away. But the team that didn't rush, they were back. They were celebrating with the goal scorer, Velasquez. And I guess that was the capper to say that ball went in the back of the net. On the throw-in, Cervantes. Cunningham tried to set it in. Thirty-second minute. And a little handsy, but Walizada able to break through it. Split two defenders, now gets it to the outside. So good footwork from Walizada. Now this ball played across. Ortiz. And Cervantes. Oh, and we're going to have a horse collar there. I don't know how a yellow did not come out there. You could see the blatant horse collar tackle by Ortiz. Or my mistake, Terrazas, number 12. And we just got confirmation from our home studio back in Michigan that, yes, there is a hole in the back of the net. So my brain feels a little bit better after all of that. I know they had put it on the board. I know both teams restarted with a 1-0 advantage, but my brain just wasn't braining at that point to figure out what happened. But there is a hole in the back of the net. So we are underway and ready to go. We're past that now, and it's 1-0 Rush after the goal in the 20th minute by Miguel Alexander Guzman Melendez, his first of the season. See the clouds starting to get real heavy in the background there. Very dark. That sun that was out just before kickoff has gone away in a drastic fashion, and the rains are coming. And it's uncomfortable now. Not just for the players, but for the fans as well. Those that came prepared with the umbrellas, kudos to you. Those that did not, with the temperatures falling, those are your soccer faithful. A lot from Oakland on this side, but also Rush has a good following as well. And so far, they're seeing what some might consider an upset at this point. Will the 1-0 advantage hold? Or will Oakland be able to get the equalizer? Or will Rush get another one and make it difficult for the fourth-place team in the NorCal division, Oakland SC? Here's Musa. But deflected again nicely from that interior defense of Rush in the 35th minute. To the outside. And what's been impressive from Rush so far is the patience. They haven't really forced anything. And a good ball to the outside. That's Terrazas into the 18. Tried to send it into the net, but didn't get enough on it with his left boot. Sent it into the side of the net for a goal kick. That was a good through ball from the middle outside. And what adjustments will Coach Ashley Watson make at half, just under 10 minutes ago until that? And what will Victor Bernadez, the head coach of Rush, say to his troops, a little bit unsuspecting, do they play back and stop the attacks? Or do they just say, hey, whatever we did in the first half, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Maybe not have to change. As goals come at a premium for Rush. So if you get one, just do what you did to try to get that one and see if you can't put another one in the back of the net and make it difficult, no matter how proficient the scoring is for Oakland between Musa and Bernier, with 15 goals combined out of the 19 for the team. 37th minute. Don't forget to follow the League for Clubs on social media to keep up with their news and notes from around the league. You can find them at Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, and Blue Sky. Follow them at @theleague_FC or search the League for Clubs to find their official accounts. Try to do as much publicizing for the League of Clubs. Again, 50 clubs in their inaugural season. Now, some may drop in, some may drop out. But the way that it looks, and again, with that funding structure that is developed, very unique to amateur soccer, that bodes well for a lot of these clubs and very enticing to those that may be thinking about joining in the near future. Now, here's some space. That ball played up front. Numbers for Rush. But just got a bit too careless. Good recovery defense, but it's going to go the other way. And it'll be a throw-in. But Rush had numbers on the breakaway and just couldn't collect it at his feet. Ended up going out of bounds on the throw-in. Now it's going to go the other way in favor of Oakland as we approach the 39th minute. League for Club is proud to partner with Passage Sports as their preferred ticketing partner. Learn more about Passage Sports. Visit their website at gopassage.com or follow them on social media at GoPassage. That's GOPASSAGE. Passage Sports. Sure, as we approach the half and fans who are watching the broadcast and everybody alike will not just wonder, how that again, we talk about the offensive prowess of Oakland, the ability to put 19 goals in 5 matches on the board. But be held scoreless here and not really any true opportunities. Had the 2 shots early. Cervantes has been very, very anticipatory in that box. But the backline defense limiting Bernier and Musa and Mater, the 3 attacking heads of Oakland, to pretty much keep them at bay, has been a kudos to Coach Bernadez and his squad so far this evening. Still a lot of soccer to be left to play, but I don't think anybody was expecting this in the 40th minute in the first half. A 1-0 advantage for Rush. Now this ball on the far side, and with pace inside the 18, and great save by Nestor on the one touch. Nestor's been very, very good himself, but he's been a little bit busier in this match and then his previous ones as the attack continues for Rush. This ball played far side. Terrazas couldn't keep it in. Cervantes on the throw-in. A trip up there. And just a short stoppage as we have a shoe being tied at about the 29-yard line. NFL draft wrapped up today. The big news, Shedeur Sanders finally getting picked in the 5th round by the Cleveland Browns, which as a football fan is odd because the Browns did draft the quarterback from Oregon, the Big Ten Player of the Year, and finished 4th in the Heisman voting in the 3rd round. But I guess if you're an NFL fan and you follow Cleveland football, the Browns were Brownsing in the draft. I guess that's what the kids say these days. Cam Ward, number 1 pick overall from Miami, quarterback. And then the Browns did have the number 2 pick in the draft. They traded that to Jacksonville and very wisely swiped up Travis Hunter from Colorado, Sanders' teammate. And that will be something where success for the Jaguars and maybe disappointment on the Browns, where that might go down as a trade where people will be shaking their heads, but everybody is on a normal playing path before they even touch an NFL field. It is a lot different monster once you hit that 100 yards in professional stadiums and in college. Good recovery defense from Oakland on another rush threat. And you can see here on the counter, whereas there's 5 black and blue jerseys back, only 2 of the teal jerseys up front. So the numbers and the getting back and the recovery from Rush has been solid in this first 43 minutes. And again, the patience and being able to string together passes, 1, 2, 3, ABC. It's good. And a collision. Nestor was there, still ball on the ground. Nestor has to retreat. Ball playing the outside, and finally, play on. Ref wasn't interested in blowing the whistle. Player down for Rush, but on the counter, just a long ball. And you can see some tired legs from Oakland. That's Mater up front, and the head's down, the shoulders are relaxed. Not really giving a full effort to chase down those balls. So fatigue may be setting in on Oakland's side and Coach Ashley Watson. So this upcoming halftime is going to be beneficial to the boys in teal. Terrazas on the long throw, out of bounds. And Cerventes going to play it back. See how aggressive Oakland might be here in the final minutes. Will Rush be aggressive? Well, they just tried to go in this with a 1-0 advantage, saying we will take that any day of the week, especially against a club like Oakland. The goal in the 20th minute from Miguel Melendez, which, as everybody saw, was a beautiful placement. Now knowing that it was a goal, went to the back corner of the net on the ground, an absolute dart that got past the diving Nestor. But the ball was seen behind the grass and on the track behind it. So people tried to, I didn't know, it threw me for a loop, but when we saw Rush celebrating and the referees put the ball at the center line, that confirmed that it was a goal. At our department, our great crew back at the studio in Michigan go back and check, and it was confirmed. There is a hole in the back of the net on that left side. And it was such a beautiful shot that he would have won party prizes at the fair for getting it through there. And with that, the whistle is blown as both teams will retreat to the locker room with a 1-0 advantage, but in favor of Rush Silicon Valley over Oakland, the 9th seed, over the 4th seed. We'll come back with the second half after some commercials here on the National Soccer Network.
Looks great. Oh.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Looks great. Oh.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Looks great. Oh.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
But we are back underway as we enter the 47th minute. One-0 advantage for Rush on a goal that threw everybody for a loop. It was the David Blaine of goals, at least to my perspective. It was a great shot from Miguel Melendez, went past a diving Colin Nestor, but the ball actually went behind the net, was on the grass and on the track. And Oakland looked to see if it was indeed good. There's a ball inside the 18. Nestor there to gobble it up on a good corner. That was their first for Rush. But going back to the goal, which was scored in the 20th minute, it was a great shot. Nestor dove to his right, couldn't get it. And the ball did go into the back corner of the net, but it went, there's a hole, as was confirmed by our replay studio back in Michigan, that there was a hole in the back of that net, and it made its way through it to give Rush the 1-0 advantage. We talked about the goal-scoring prowess of Oakland, having those 19 goals already, and here comes a corner from our side advantage. We'll get to that, what I was about to say, in just a minute. We'll see how this goes for Oakland. Their first shot in the second half. Ball across, deflected out, trying to get a shot with the left, deflected. Another shot, that ball's deflected and cleared out. Once again, good backline defense from Rush, collapsing on those two scores, talking respectively about Alexander Bernier and Mahmoud Musa. Bernier leads the conference in goals with 9. Musa tied for third with 6, with Yuba FC's Luis Martinez in between there, as FC Davis has Elijah Alba with 7. And FC Davis has got themselves off to a great start on this 2025 spring campaign, 5-0. And they are in action tonight against Fuego, the U23 squad. They are actually playing at the Fuego training facility out in Fresno. Game currently going on. Fuego off to a good start too at 4-1. They lost their first match. It was a 4-1 drubbing from Sam Ramon, but after that have gone 4-0 since, outscoring their opponents 15-2 throughout those 4 matches. Both teams coming off of wins, both clean sheets. Fuego U23 won 2-0 against Afghan Premier at home. And then FC Davis was on the road against Albion SC in Silicon Valley at Red Morton Park in Redwood City with a 3-0 clean sheet. So it'll be interesting to see how those teams fare out after this one's over. But we've got ourselves a good one here on the National Soccer Network between Rush Silicon Valley and Oakland SC. Score 1-0 in favor of Rush. Free kick, and that's going to sail both over the crossbar and wide the right upright on the football field goal. Oakland sits at 4th in the NorCal Conference. Rush at 9th. Rush just has the 3 points. And Oakland with 10 with a loss and a draw, 3-1-1. 2-1-0 here at home is Oakland. But right now, home field advantage not boding well at Oakland Tech High School. That's going to be Oakland ball. Another player on the ground. as everybody gets lined up as we approach just into the 53rd minute. What started off as just a shade cloudy evening in Oakland, California has turned into a weather nightmare. It's chilly, it's cold, it's raining. Rain has let up a little bit, but it was coming down pretty good towards the end of that first half. Subsided a little bit, but not what the Oakland fans wanted to see. And not the score they wanted to see neither. As they see their Oakland SC club down to Rush 1-0, approaching the 54th minute. And an update on a score that I'm sure all the Oakland fans will be quite happy about is that the Golden State Warriors, down 3 going into the fourth quarter, have extended the lead to 8 with 13.9 seconds left, 101-93 over the Houston Rockets in Game 3 of the Western Conference first round. And Golden State at the free throw line just made it a 9-point advantage. So they'll walk away and they'll go out of this one leading the series 2-1. Split the games down in Houston. Now they take game 1 in Golden State, and they will play again on Monday for game 2. Tip-off at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific. Warriors a 7th seed, won that play-in round, along with the Grizzlies. And the Grizzlies are no longer contenders. If anybody's watching Game 3, you saw that nasty fall that Ja Morant took. And on the backside, and that ball just trickles back. So Rush not letting off the gas pedal here in the second half. Again, has shown more offensive power than Oakland. And right now, Oakland SC has been playing on their heels. You can see there that all the pressure up front, you can see 5 jerseys in your frame of black and blue jerseys and only 3 teal jerseys, and 3 rarely ever beats 5, if at all. And even with Bernier and Mater and Musa up top, Rush's defense has been solid. And right now it seems the same game plan from Victor Bernadez, head coach of Rush, on what the game plan was heading in the second half. If it wasn't broke, don't fix it. And it seems to be the same style. Let someone else beat you. And Rush, just don't turn the ball over. Don't make a silly mistake. With only the 1-0 advantage, goals have been at a premium for Rush this season. Only 5 total, including the one in this match. And in those 4 goals, it was Anthony Moran, number 18, as you can see there at the top of our screen, who had 3 of those goals. And Khalid Armdani had the other one. And now Miguel Melendez gets in on it with that goal in the 20th minute in the first half. And that's how we got to 1-0. I made a note at the end of that first half is that front line of Bernier, Mater, and Musa showing a little bit of fatigue towards the end of that first 45 minutes. And we'll see if that plays a factor here in the second half. They're going to need those boots in order to get things going, because Oakland needs an equalizer. They don't want to walk out of here with no points. I'm sure they won't be too happy with just 1. And wow, Nestor had to make a business decision there. And having to play back on their heels once again. Wondering what Coach Ashley Watson told his club in the locker room at halftime. Oakland Tech Bulldog Stadium in the city of Oakland. Both football teams and soccer teams play here. That ball punched out by Nestor on a good in ball from the far wing. And that's Bernier out on the far side. Retreating back towards us. Has the yellow card in a collision. Inadvertent with Cervantes, but deemed a little bit dangerous, so he was issued the yellow in the 14th minute. Right now, even though Melendez got the goal, it's been the work of Cervantes in net for Silicon Valley, who's played an outstanding game so far. And his size has played a big factor in that too. An imposing fella in that cage. And off. Trying to plead his case. Ref says not interested. We'll go the other way. And a little physicality. It's David Vieira, number 17. And number 4, Justin Wolf, getting a little handsy after that play. But Wolf will look. Send away from about the 46. He'll send it across the field. 60th minute. What can Oakland do to find the equalizer as we get later? (8:21) Pacific time. 11:21 on the East Coast. Hope you're staying up with us. Hope you're enjoying the show. It's been a good one so far here in the National Soccer Network. Want some more information on the League for Clubs? Go to theleaguefc.com. Find up-to-date results and standings. Check out club profiles. Read the latest league-wide news and much, much more. Bookmark it while you're there. Theleaguefc.com. League for Clubs, inaugural season this year, 50 clubs strong. Founded on 5 clubs. Tulsa Athletic, Kingston Stockade FC, Atlantic City FC, Napa Valley 1839 FC, and FC Davis, who we just previously mentioned. Oakland, though, has been not part of the League for Clubs, but has been around. They celebrated their 50-year anniversary last season. Began club play in 1974. Phenomenal story. Now on the attack, and we're going to have a trip up. And we're going to have a yellow issued to Rush on the far side. Looks like that was number 12, Terrazas, in the 61st minute. So the first yellow issued. To Rush. Now both teams have one. It's been a fairly clean game so far. Refs have called it nicely. So a free kick from about the 31-yard line on the far side. Ball sent in, backside. Player back there, and Cervantes was pointing to his defender, make sure you guard him, so he had to chuck out. Was able to fall on a good play again from Alejandro Rafael Cervantes. Ball booted away to the far side and trickles out of bounds. That was Moran. Not said his name a lot. Leading goal scorer so far in the short season for this Rush club with the 3 goals. Had 2 of those in a match earlier in the season. But the goal tonight from Melendez in the 20th minute. That's where we stand, 1-0. 4th place Oakland, 9th place Rush. I'd mentioned Rush Silicon Valley, a club of San Jose Rush, but the Rush academies across the nation, just the expansion of where they go. And I'm sure that they know this because they're very, very in tune with soccer in the National Soccer Network's home state of Michigan back at the studio. But one very pretty prominent player from the U.S. men's national team played his youth soccer for Rush, Michigan, one Christian Pulisic. Yeah, he's pretty good. He's made his presence known not only in the States, but now across the pond in the Premier League. He was a UEFA champion, plays for Arsenal. Just a dynamic player. And in hopes that people like that and the leagues like this develop these players. There's a podcast on the National Soccer Network called Inside the Game. Tune in every day, 9 and 10. Founder and CEO of the National Soccer Network and Premier Media Group, Jonathan Turner, joins Nathan Wangler. Nathan, very prominent play-by-play broadcaster himself, does Whitecaps games up in Michigan, does a lot of soccer here. And they discuss a little bit of everything on the soccer fronts, have a lot of fun with it. It's a great podcast. You can join me. I'm on there Tuesdays. They bring me along, so I'm very, very fortunate to be a part of that. But one of the big discussions has been the product on the field for the U.S. men's national team the past couple years. And there's a block inside the box. Wolf stays with it, gets it in the middle, just has to turn. Now here's an opportunity. Shot on goal, and it goes wide. And that was deflected, so it's going to be a corner. And now an opportunity for Oakland in the 65th minute. And that ball cleared out. They were talking about a big one, and that ball just sailed over the net. And I believe it was deflected. Nestor just kind of was like, please do not go into the back of that net. And it wasn't. They were just moving to add some pressure, but Nestor was caught between a rock and a hard place, had no way to get back on that floater, and just sailed over the crossbar. Good effort from about 35 yards out from Rush. But Mauricio Pochettino was named the coach of the U.S. men's national team last year, and the discussion was that that was more of a novelty hire than anything, that it was a name. And a lot of people agreed, the viewers that were watching, and a lot of comments came through, and the discussion came about what incentives can be placed on the USMNT team in order to make them play with pride, as these other countries do. You have countries that are an eighth of the size of the United States. Some countries even smaller than the state of Texas, who are just dominant in World Cup play and international play, and wonder why the U.S. can't get on board with that. And it has a lot to do with the leagues above and MLS, and the word entitlement came up quite a bit, and just resume statting and all of that kind of thing, and where the chemistry comes from. I think the best point that was brought up during the podcast was that the players on the U.S. men's national team don't play together for a long period of time. They get together for their friendlies or their international matches, and just for a little bit of time, but they're busy playing with other clubs and don't have the continuity nor the chemistry to get together like a lot of these other countries do. And that's a big thing in soccer, to know where your teammates are, to know spacing, just to get a feel for the game itself with other players on the pitch who are similar to what you're doing. But that's not the case in U.S. national team. Incentivizing pay, play for pride, but if you win, you do get paid. So there are a lot of good points made, but make sure you tune in, subscribe to the YouTube channel. National Soccer Network, and tune in every weekday, Monday through Friday from 9 to 10 to Inside the Game, and you'll hear some great conversation between both John and Nate. And as we approach the 69th minute here, Rush Silicon Valley with a surprising 1-0 advantage over the much heavily favored Oakland SC. With Mahmoud, Musa, Montreux Mater, and Alexander Bernier. Between those 3 players alone, of the 19 goals, that's 16 of them right there. And right now, I believe Bernier is the only one that actually has a shot on goal between those 3. It has been the defense. It has been the play of Alejandro Cervantes in goal for Rush Silicon Valley. Just a combined team effort right now from Rush. Here's some pressure. On the turn, that's Wolf. And he goes down. Ref says play on. No whistle called. And still, Oakland cannot generate an offensive threat. And you can see the handshakes. Just lots of team effort, both mentally and physically back there from that Rush back line, appreciating their teammates and the effort they've put together. See number 20, Hector Sandoval, has entered the match on that back line for Coach Victor Bernadez. It is a final in Golden State, the Bay Area, where we're located. Warriors 104, Rockets 93. Warriors take a 2-1 advantage heading into Tuesday's game. Now up 2-1. Nuggets tied things up against the LA Clippers today. 2-2. The Thunder swept the Grizzlies. Ja Morant out for the majority of Game 3 and sat out today. The other game today was the East Conference matchup. And Cavaliers just dismantling the Miami Heat 124-87. And the surprising thing about that game is their second-best player, Darius Garland, out with a sprained toe, did not participate in that match. And Donovan Mitchell, their All-NBA superstar, held to 13 points. So that means that the rest of the Cavs really did some business on the Miami Heat. Game 4 of that matchup is Monday. And right now it sees the Cavaliers poised to sweep that, if not lose one, on their way to a first-round victory. Who will there face the winner of the Indiana Pacers-Milwaukee Bucks series. That series has Indiana up 2-1. They took both at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. And then Milwaukee yesterday won their first game at Fiserv Center in Milwaukee. And tomorrow's contest has the Knicks and Pistons in Detroit. Knicks up 2-1 in that series. And then Game 4 of the Lakers and Timberwolves. Timberwolves have a 2-1 advantage. And then Game 4 of the Celtics and Magic. Magic took one yesterday, surprisingly, in a very, very physical game. But Celtics still lead 2-1 in that series. And in Game 4, the Pacers-Bucks in Milwaukee. Tomorrow night on TNT at 9:30, Pacers with the 2-1 advantage. Four playoffs games today. In the NHL, Senators in overtime, 4-3 over Toronto. Vegas, 4-3 in overtime over Minnesota. And the Lightning just all over defending champion Florida Panthers, 5-1. Panthers still lead that series 2-1. But that was on their home ice in Florida. And right now, Colorado has a 3-0 advantage over Dallas in the second period with 13 ticks to go in that one. Stars lead the series 2-1. So Colorado looking to even that series up. Senators avoided the sweep with their win today. The Knights and the Wild tied at 2, and then that Panthers series, the Panthers up 2-1. And now a corner. Nestor playing midline, ball sent to the back line, punched out. And it'll go all the way out of bounds, and now sent in. That was Wolf back there, misplaced it. And we'll have a corner again from that side. Wolf put his foot up, but that ball trickled off of it. And now they'll do it again. Here it comes, backside the net. And that's going to be a goal kick. So Nestor will place it down in the 74th minute. We're going to have 2 substitutions. Or 1. That's Moran who comes off. And we'll get a number as soon as we can see. Maybe that was Mater who came back into the contest. As soon as we see a jersey, this is number 16. That's Braden Gary. No, I'm sorry. That's Kelvin Elver. I'm sorry. Read my rosters wrong. Braden Elver comes in for Moran, the leading goal scorer for Rush, but was held very, very quiet in this one. But it was a goal Melendez. That's all the noise that happened in the first half, but it was a big pop and a big boom that happened. Before a loop, went in the hole in the back of the net, trickled away. Rush celebrated. Oakland wasn't sure, but the ref indeed put the ball at the center line. And that's where we sit. 1-0 as we approach the 76th minute. We're talking the NFL draft wrapped up today. Not too many surprises. I think the biggest surprise came from the Cleveland Browns, in which I jokingly said the Browns were brownsing in this draft. Trading up, they had the number 2 pick. Cam Ward, quarterback from Miami, went number 1 to the Titans. And then in a surprising move, the Browns traded with Jacksonville. And Jacksonville hesitated not 1 iota and drafted Travis Hunter from Colorado. Abdul Carter from Penn State, the all-world edge rusher, went to the Giants at number 4. Will Campbell, big offensive tackle from LSU, to the Patriots at 4. And then with that swap, the Browns selected Mason Graham, a defensive tackle from Michigan. Graham, a good player, but kind of what transpired after that and the picks for the Browns left everybody very confused on what they did. It was just an odd draft because the Browns with their, well, let's start with their round 2 picks. Quentin Judkins, they drafted a running back. They had Schwesinger, he's a linebacker from UCLA, and they went with Judkins, a running back from Ohio State. And there's another goal in the back of the net, and we're tied at 1 on the equalizer. And none other than Alexander Bernier to put that in, and he gets it to the half line, and we are tied at 1. So Bernier gets his 10th goal of the season in the 77th minute. And that just happened so quick. I was in NFL draft talk, and then the ball just went to the feet of the person who it should have went to, and Bernier makes up for a pretty shadowed first half, and now it's a 1-1 tie, and Bernier extends his league lead to his 10th goal, team lead 10th goal, and gets this one back in favor. And will there be a momentum shift with that goal? Cervantes had to make a decision, but the speed of Bernier just beat him to it and able to place it in the back of the net. So now things get interesting. Rush was playing solid all game long. It was a one mistake, and that's notorious for soccer. You can play well for so long. You can play well. I had mentioned in the first half, Indy 11, FC Miami. Last week, the final goal was scored in the 123rd minute. That ball headed out. Trying to get to the outside. Again, apologies for the tent in our view. The elements and Mother Nature were not playing kind. You see number 15 there for Oakland. Now in the pitch for Coach Ashley Watson. That ball roll out of bounds. Cervantes is going to work quick. Now the question comes, where does the offense come from Rush if they want to see if they can't walk out of here with a victory, come into a hostile environment on the fourth place team? Or will they be content with 1 point just to get one? Oakland, the heavy favorite to win this. And an unsuspected goal in the 20th minute from Miguel Melendez. But then return the favor here in the second half in the 76th minute. Alexander Bernier, 10th goal of the season. And as I mentioned, the offense from Rush, that 10 goals is double of the entire team of Rush. So where can it come from? Is it Melendez again? With their leading scorer, Anthony Moran, now out of the contest. As a number 16, Kelvin Elver. Can he put something in the back of the net? See number 15, Emiliano Zelano. He's been busy in the midfield, directing passes, keeping a clean game, but hasn't really been a threat up front in the 81st minute. Now time becomes an enemy of both squads. There is no extra time, added time, in the league for clubs. It'll end at 90 or any additional time that is added after that, but there are, and then we're going to have a blatant push in the back there. Is that going to be in the box? It is. We're going to have ourselves a PK 12 yards out on just a wrong mental mistake by the back line of Rush. Clearly on the alley. He was on, and Bernier's going to take this. He's going to look for a brace and see if he can't give Oakland a 2-1 advantage here, which is going to be the 82nd minute, depending on when they decide to take it. Bernier going to line up. If there's any time Cervantes had to come up big in this match, which he's done many a times, this is huge right here. With just around 9 minutes remaining, but an opportunity for Bernier to get number 11, a brace, and the lead. Here it comes. And a yellow issued to Oakland's number 12, Gamal Campore. Little jockeying between him and Melendez. Also, Sandoval over there, and they put Compaore in the book. So that's the second yellow on Oakland. This one in the 83rd minute. But here we go. Bernier, the stutter, the right, back of the net, 2-1 Oakland. And just like that, in the course of just over 11 minutes, Alexander Bernier, 2 goals in the back of the net, 2-1 Oakland. And now, what is Rush going to do with only around 8 minutes left in this one? Have seen their beautiful play through 70 minutes of soccer dwindle. And all due to number 7. The league's leading scorer, now with his 11th goal of the season. His second on the evening. And Oakland leads 2-1 in the 84th minute. Amazing that for at least 69, 70 minutes, Alexander Bernier was held at check by the Rush defense. But on a breakaway and a slip through Cervantes on a 1v1 opportunity, was able to beat the big keeper to get the equalizer to make it 1-1. And then on the breakaway, a clear, great ball. Player was onside and just a mental mistake to push him straight in the back inside the box. Bernier lined up, put it on the right side of the net. Nothing Nestor could do on that blast. And now it's 2-1 Oakland in the 85th minute. And it makes right now still an opportunity. And just right of the net. My goodness. That was Terrazas. Had it right on his head and just put it past the right post. Nestor had no chance. But a game of inches, it is. And that could have tied this up late. But to no avail. And that was actually number 13, Eric Reyes, who had a beat on that. But a missed opportunity on a beautiful in-ball. The service from that far side into Reyes just couldn't complete it. And Nestor holding his breath at that one. Just went wide of the net. And a player down on Oakland. See number 15, Emiliano Zolano. He wants to get going. But they'll take the time. The 87th minute. There will be added time to this one. There have been some players down here in the second half. So a quick recap of how we got here is 1-0 in the 20th minute from Miguel Melendez. An odd-looking play to the eye, to the viewing audience. That was a great shot from Melendez past a diving Nestor. And what seemed to go past the net actually went into the goal, but went through a hole in the back of the net. That was confirmed from our replay center back in Michigan. So that was a 1-0 advantage. And throughout that entire first half, Rush really shut down the three-headed monster of Alexander Bernier, Montreux Mader, and Mahmoud Musa, who at the time had a combined 17 goals of the team's 19. And up until the 69th minute, on a breakaway, it was 1v1 with Alexander Bernier and Alejandro Cervantes. And Bernier was able to get past and put it in the back of the net for the equalizer in the 76th minute. And no more Then 7 minutes later, on a breakaway, a push in the back from the backside defenders of Rush put Bernier on the penalty stripe at 12 yards out, and just a blast past Cervantes. Cervantes went the other way, didn't have a chance, and that gave the young man a brace, his 11th goal of the season, but also more importantly, Oakland the 2-1 advantage. And now here's Bernier again in space, takes a shot with his right. Cervantes there to knock it down, and he'll collect it. So number 7 getting hungry, but Cervantes there to match the task, did not want number 7 to get his second consecutive hat trick. But Bernier with 5 goals in 2 matches consecutively and an assist. And that ball is going to be on the corner. Player went down. Looked like maybe hit in the face. And he collects himself. Didn't see a whistle, and now he looks okay. So maybe it is California. The academies, the Tonys, and everything held here. So one beautiful thing about soccer is, boy, they can take some hits. That's Saul Tekla, number 14, who took the contact. In the 89th minute, we'll see how much added time. Can Rush do anything? Sandoval falls on his wallet. Time a huge issue now for Rush. As we mentioned through the entire broadcast, coming into this one, only 4 goals on the season. They got the 5th from Melendez, but not from the person you'd expect it. And their leading goal scorer, Anthony Moran, out of this contest. Kelvin Elver on the substitution came in for him, number 16. And the offensive pressure has slowed down tremendously, but there was a great through ball to the head of Eric Reyes that just went wide of the net for the opportunity. Now here's a cross ball, and the service goes wide. Nestor takes a sigh of relief, in no hurry to find the ball. It comes in. See, Julio Cervantes, number 17, made his way into the contest. His brother Oscar also on the team, number 27. Saw a lot of him. They were working around number 27 in that first half. And now we're in added time. We'll see how long it goes. And still at the feet of Rush. Close to the 18. Can they get a shot? Good defense, but still at the feet. Sent into the box. Nestor's there and just falls on it. You can see the excitement of the crowd to your lower right-hand corner. They came to see a victor, and we have a player down. So this will add some more time. But they sure do like this club here in Oakland. Once again, the community has embraced this club for 50 years now. This is year 51. And to be an addition of the 50 clubs that stand strong in the League for Clubs, it's going to be around for a long time. It's got great backing. It's got a good payment structure. With the help of the WPSL, we know how just the explosion of popularity of women's soccer over the past 7 to 10 years has been so monumental. Not just in the States, but worldwide. People have taken notice of the growth here in the States of women's soccer. The success of the U.S. women's national team, but now just throughout every level, the USL, USL2, WPSL, MPSL, and offside. Trying to get a hat trick was Bernier. To no avail. He was going at warp speed, trying to get number 3. We're in our 3rd minute of overtime. We don't have the board, so we're not sure how many More minutes were added. And it looks like the crowd is clapping. And everybody meets at the middle. And that's going to do it. Well, what a contest. That's going to do it here at Oakland Tech High School with a final score of Oakland SC 2 and Rush Silicon Valley 1. Oakland sees their record go to 4-0-1, while Rush moves to 1-0-4. On behalf of our entire National Soccer Network crew, I'm John Natale, and we want to thank you for joining us on this Saturday evening. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel to see the best soccer from all levels, all across the country. Once again, from Oakland Tech High School in Oakland, California, the final score is Oakland SC 2 and Rush Silicon Valley 1. We'll see you next time on the National Soccer Network. Have a great evening, everybody.